I would like to first say and state and make it clear and very evident that I'm a Seventh-day Adventist born and raised, that I went to Crossroads Elementary School as a child in Maryland, and I went to Friendship School in Maryland, and it was a Christian Seventh-day Adventist school. I went to Madison Campus Elementary, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist school. And I went to Madison Academy, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist private school. And Madison, the schools in Madison were in Madison, Tennessee. I'm a Seventh day Adventist born and raised from a Seventh day Adventist mother, a Seventh day Adventist grandmother and grandfather, a Seventh day Adventist aunt, a Seventh day Adventist, another aunt of mine is a Seventh day Adventist, and my uncle. And all my family, most all my family, are Seventh day Adventist people. And I want to say that I have been thoroughly in the warmth, the heart, the love, the care, the understanding and devotion of the Seventh Day Adventist community, and I understand that community through being raised in their schools. And I want to make a point in my life. Whenever I was at the age of 16, I departed from belief in the Creator due to being introduced to evolution. I thought it was I found out that God in the Bible killed babies and infants and children. And whenever I heard that, I stopped believing that that is the supreme God, that that's the supreme source, that that is the highest possible divinity. I stopped believing that after hearing that God killed infants, uh, ca- caused the Israelites to kill infants. I now see that differently, knowing how terrible some races of people can be. That, yeah, the Israelites might have been justified in killing babies, and, you know, but maybe not. Maybe there is a higher way. I know that Jesus shows a higher way. He says, pray for your enemies and do good for those to do good to those that hate you. That is what Jesus says. But in the before times, it was not like that. And also, and so what I want to clarify in this video is why it was a logical and just natural choice to depart from religion for me. It was a logical, natural reaction. Oh, he killed babies. Well, that doesn't sound like the highest possible God. That sounds like a God of war and judgment. I guess I'll just be atheist, is what my thinking was back in the day. That was a long time ago. But what led me back to God, a creator, a loving source, a divinity, and a real head of creation was cannabis, was psilocybin mushrooms, was ayahuasca, and was DMT. And also, um, these things were very important to me, having an upbringing where I was inspired to be a psychonaut. A psychonaut is a person who explores altered states of consciousness. Altered states of consciousness are important for discovering what the potentialities of the mind are. What the potentialities of the mind are, what the mind can do, where it can go, how dramatic of experiences can it have, and what the extent of your mind's potential possibilities are, the possibilities of the mind. Anyways, so that is what led me back to acknowledgement and of divinity, because there are experiences that will propel you into worlds of divinity and wonder and grace and the power of the imagination, the mind, and vision and worlds of vision and empowerment. And these things are what led me back to acknowledging a creator, back to acknowledging a loving God, back to acknowledging a source, back to acknowledging the heavenly, the reality of the heavenly, the reality of the spiritual, the reality of the divine, the reality of the divine. And these things, that is what led me back to acknowledging these things. Um my point in all this is that how am I supposed to be a missionary from my stance of how am I supposed to be a missionary from my stance? The Christians can get up on the pulpit and be very ardent in their beliefs and evangelize on the correct day of worship, the seventh day, and evangelize on not eating of unclean meats. Can and these things are important inside of the Seventh Day Adventist Church and the Seventh Day Adventist belief structure. But I was raised Seventh Day Adventist, and I know Seventh Day Adventist faith. I know Seventh Day Adventist vigor. I know Seventh Day Adventist. I know the faith persistence of the Seventh Day Adventist people. Jesus said, those who persist get blessed. You wrestle with God, and you don't stop until you receive your blessing. You wrestle with God and you don't stop until you receive your blessing. So I know of that type of spirituality, and um that type of faith is understood and well acknowledged and well understood. But how am I supposed to missionary and evangelize about my faith, whenever those are the things that brought me to who I am today. They make it very difficult for me to talk about my side of the story inside of the Seventh Day Adventist Church, the Seventh Day Adventist community, and the Seventh Day Adventist faith. Because what led me back to God was inebriants from the plant world, from the fungi world, the mycelial world.